All right, real quick rant here. The weather's kind of blowing out. You're going to hear the wind blowing really hard here. It's gusting up to 20 miles an hour, 40-degree weather. So it feels a little cold. Even though the sun beating on me feels good. I mean, if you look out here, the sun looks really warm, and it actually is. But the water's at probably 2 feet. I can't really walk where I want to. You're limited on shoreline here. So I figured I'd do just a really quick video on reels and rods. If you watch a lot of the YouTube guys out there, it's nice that they can afford some really nice equipment. You know, I mean, we all want to afford $400 reels, but the realistics of it, logistics of it is the fact that most of us don't have that kind of money. I mean, I'm a dad with a daughter, and that goes to the daughter. So I have to kind of be on a budget, and I hate to say it, but I really do. You know, it'd be nice to be a millionaire, not have to care about what I buy, but I do. The next thing on it was the logistics part of it. I was saying is the fact that what are you out catching? Now in my area here in South Jersey, we have small bass. We don't have any. You're not going to catch any monster 10-pounders. I mean, it'd be a rarity if you did. I mean, a really rarity. I think that is actually the state record. 7 and 8s are kind of really big monster fish out here. I've caught 1.7 since I've been here. I've been here since 2001. On average, more like 1 to 3 pound bass are your averages. 4s being a decent one, 5 being a decent one. And the reason I bring that up is because realistically, you don't need a $200 reel to catch those size fish. I mean, there is a reason why trout fishermen, crappie fishermen, bluegill fishermen, they don't use the most high-end product because you really don't need it to catch them fish. Yeah, I mean, it isn't like, if they were, they'd be out with, $300 bait casters and 65-pound braid trying to haul in a 2-pound trout. And it's kind of the same thing with bass in my area. If you have really not jumbo bass, and you got to kind of look back and see how you did last year. It's wintertime now, so I kind of assess, how did I do? I'm going to try and catch some bigger bass this year, so I've loaded up on some braid, which is what you see here. I'm not a braid fisherman, but I talk so much crap about braid, I figured I'd have to try it. And so I've loaded up a couple rods with some braid. I'm going to try and get some bigger fish this spring when it comes in. I'm going to be fishing some bigger baits, catching less small ones, trying to get that one big elusive one for the year, But with that said, I'm not spending a ton on reels. This reel here is a Sengialang. I don't know how I can pronounce it, just so I can get it in view here. This reel here, if you had to go and buy it on Amazon, is a $20 reel, $19.99. You can get a 2-year warranty on it for $1.24, which makes it out to about $23 if you have Amazon Prime, which most of you, if you're a young guy out there, most of your parents have Amazon Prime. I mean, I've got it. It saves you on any taxes, and what you save in taxes and shipping makes up for a reel. Because you buy a reel out there now, you spend $50 on a reel, $10 in shipping. By the time you're done, you got a $60 reel, which is about what this is. This really is built like a $60 to, I would say, $80 reel. It really is that nice. It casts nice. It's got a lot of beef to it. This is my third one. I actually have 2 others, and they're holding up really well. And the reason I got them is because I have an influx of rods that I've replaced and upgraded over the years, and now I have no reels for them. So I'm slowly but surely pulling in a reel here every now and then to add to them. But anyway, the reason I say that is because I also have a reel that's from 2003 when when Cabela's opened up in Hamburg in Pennsylvania. I picked up a mega cast reel from them for probably about $70, $80, maybe $100, at most $100. I think it was on sale. Being the fact they were opening, I got the reel for fairly cheap. It still holds up now. It casts great. It's got 6 or 7 ball bearings in it. It's got a good drag system to it. It's a mega cast. It's still going strong. So, and that's 15 years later. So for the $100 that I spent, I've got a reel I've had here in South Jersey for 15 years. My reel previous to that was a Quantum Energy that I brought from California. And I'd had that reel 5 years before I left there. And I just had that blow up on me here this last summer. I went to set the hook and it stripped the gears. So, I mean, you're talking about a 20-year run on that reel, and it cost me $100 and something. That's probably one of my more expensive reels, other than a Calcutta I bought a bunch of years back. So, I mean, the reels will hold up for you. If you're not catching a ton of fish, you can get away with a lower end reels. The Quantums, the Okumas, the Cast Kings, the Sengialangs, Fissy Funs, they're all great reels and are great bangs for the buck. I have probably 6 Okuma reels at the house Most of my stuff is Okuma and KastKing when it comes to spinning. All my bait casters are pretty much this KastKing and Fisifun. I've tested out a few different reels, so I do have quite a few. I do have some others that I've been using. And I'm telling you, not one of them is over, I don't know. I think the most expensive reel I'm running right now is that MegaCast. And they're all workhorses. They all work great. And you're talking about a minimal amount of money. So down the road, if you're a young guy, if you're in that, don't worry about what you see on YouTube. Everybody wants the $300 Concept Z reel, or the, not 13, but let's say the Daiwa reel with the digital drag in it. We all want those reels. We really do. We want the Svan Stalls. We want the top of the line Shimanos. But realistically, we all can't have those. Those are, reels really for people who can't afford them or just want to say, I own one. Realistically, they're not catching any more fish than you. You being 14, 15 years old are probably catching more fish on them with a Shakespeare Alpha low-profile reel than what they're catching on their $500 reel. So the bottom line is what I'm telling you is that don't be afraid to go out and buy that $20, $25, $30 reel, $50 reel. If that's what you got to have, that's what you use. And you use whatever you have. Because let me tell you, I'm 52 years old, going to be 53. And I don't even want to tell you the bait casters I used back in the day when I was that age. When I was 14, 15 years old, the reels were not that good. Mainly my reels growing up were Daiwa Millionaires, Abu Garcia 5500Cs. Those were our two really go-to bait casting reels. And that's what we used. So you now have a great line. All these reels now, like this reel here, is as good, if not better, than a reel that was made 5 years, 6, 7, 10 years ago. Everything in that range that was $300 in, this reel is just as good at $20. And it's like with anything else. It's like TVs. If you buy a TV, I bought a big screen TV back when they first came out. I got a 32-inch TV. It wasn't even high def. It was 480p, and it cost me a grand total of $600. So, do what you do. Anyway, let me let you go.